same since you left? You kind of what were your impressions coming back to Miami?
Green Tree will always be Green Tree. You know, there's a lot of great players that's practice out there on that field. And just kind of stressing to the guys, you know, the culture of this program was set a long time ago. The fun thing about that, all they got to do is hold the line. Just continue to work, continue to get better, come out and give their best effort every day, and we'll be just fine.
Are you jealous that they have an air-conditioned IPF to work in half the time?
We didn't know nothing about this back then, so we wouldn't know. But right now, I'm like, hey, it's pretty cool to do inside run and stuff like that inside of the indoor facility. That's pretty cool. So yeah, you know, you get half the practice inside, and the other half you go outside and get in the sun. It's almost like cheating a little bit, though. You know what I'm saying?
Now that you've had a couple.
When I see you and JT, you guys are running around almost as much as your guys. Is that part of the atmosphere to get
We high energy. JT's a high energy coach, and so am I. So, you know, we're trying to get the absolute best out of these guys. So it's all in love. So we're chasing them down the field, trying to coach them on the way back to the huddle, just little details to remind them of, or things to look at, things to look for, and just trying to help them be on the mindset of thinking about what I just saw, what I need to do, and then move on to the next play.
Do you notice the guys that are next, the guys doing the next guys they're all paying attention? I noticed that they're around you guys.
Yes.
Especially.
Yes, because if I'm coaching one, I'm coaching all. So if I'm coaching one defensive tackle, I'm talking to everybody. So it just helps them listen to what the instruction is, and now they can go apply to what they do, because they're going to probably see the same play or some type of play that's going to look very similar to what I'm coaching.
Now that you've had a couple weeks to see the guys on the field, just your impressions of the D-tackle group and the guys you have?
I think they're a great group. They are dedicated. They're working extremely hard, and they're giving us all out effort. So I'm extremely proud of their progress. I'm proud of how fast they come along, how fast they've adjusted to my coaching style and the details and stuff that I want, and I want to see executed out on the field, and they're doing their best to get it done. So I'm really proud with our group.
I want to ask about one of the young guys, Dante Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about him a little bit? What does he do well, and then what's he still working on?
He's still a puppy, so you know it's what he does well. He gives great effort, you know, and he's really strong. He's really strong at the point of attack. Just trying to clean up those small details with his footwork and stuff like that. But he's done a really good job. I'm really proud of him. He's working really hard.
Two other guys, David Blay, who just transferred in, and Ahmad Moten, who sort of came along towards the end of last season. What have you seen from both of them?
They're both doing great. You know, Blade comes in, he's a bigger guy, he's squattier, he's stronger, so he has his style of play. Moten is extremely explosive off the ball. So just trying to coach them to their strengths and make sure that they're getting all the good work in and stuff like that. So they're doing good, man. All those guys are doing really well. I'm really proud of them.
Damione, you mentioned you and Jason are high energy guys. Do you feel like you have high energy players?
Yeah, I feel like your players should match your coach. You know, if your coach is high energy, then the energy in the room should be high. It's going to be high in the meeting room because we both coach with a lot of intensity watching film. And then when we get out on the field and going through individual drills and stuff like that, it's high intensity. So you want to see their attitudes kind of mold and starting to shape to be like yours, so they can be high energy guys out on the field when it comes time to play a football game. Because as y'all know, you know, in this game right here, every series is a new series, and you got to reset your mind, you got to reset your way of thinking, you got to go out there and get after it, you know. So that's the way we coach, that's the way we want to see them play.
I think some of the D linemen we've talked to so far have mentioned that Coach Heatherman's defense is kind of easy for linemen to learn. Just how would you evaluate like how the difficulty is for the defensive linemen, and how are they kind of taking to it the first couple of weeks?
It's some different stuff that you do than you'll do on a conventional defensive line, but it's easy once you understand what we're trying to get done. So the big thing is for me to paint the picture in the meeting room to make sure they understand exactly what we're trying to get done and technique changes from what they did last year. So I think they're adjusting to that well. It's taking some time because, you know, you got to retrain your mind, got to retrain your body, because you see things and you just automatically react a certain way to it. So just trying to get past that and get over that hump. So now that they're reacting the way we want them to react to what they're seeing, and I think we're coming along and progressing in that well. We got a long way to go, and they're ahead of the curve right now.
Can you see this being that breakout year for Justin Scott?
I see Justin Scott doing a great job this year. You know, I don't really know where it was last year or whatever like that, but just seeing him getting stronger with his upper body, getting stronger in his lower body, he's a younger player. I think he's going to do a great job for us, and he got a lot of good guys in the room that's going to help him out. So I'm not expecting him just to have a breakout. I'm waiting for a lot of these guys to come out and have a breakout year this year.
You know what it's supposed to look like. I mean, you were on the team, you were in the NFL, you were in Colorado. How close or is Miami already there in terms of how you want it to sort of look physically, passing the look test, the speed test, the explosion, you know, the bigger, faster, stronger stuff?
We're getting there. I'm not saying we're there yet. It's too early to determine that. You know, as we get into training camp and we start getting into some games and I start seeing the flashes when the helmet is a different color, then I'll start trying to make that determination. But, you know, as a football player and then being a coach, you're never there until the season's over with. You know, you always got to be out trying to get better and find things to get better at. So right now we are a long way away from being there, right now in my opinion.
Coach, when it comes to recruiting, what kind of players are you looking for from a physical and a mental
I'm looking for kids that are mentally tough. I'm looking for kids that are physically able to do the job, and I'm looking for guys that are twitchy, that are quick, explosive, and have those traits. So, you know, a lot of times you get wrapped up in the bigger guy, but sometimes the bigger guy is not always the twitchier guy. So you want to try to find that perfect balance of size and twitch, because now you got an explosive defensive line that's got size on it. So that's what the guys I'm looking for, and they're hard to find. They are definitely hard to find.
Booker Pickett.
Booker Pickett is doing good. You know, he's playing defensive end, he's putting on some weight, and he's coming along. You know, I played with his dad, and then I played with his uncle in St. Louis. So I see a lot of those traits in it. He's got the right mindset for the game, and he's getting extremely quick off the ball. So he's got a lot of attributes as far as that's concerned. But it's just developing as a player and learning how to use his fastball, learning how to use his counter moves and stuff like that in the rush game. And that's just stuff that we're continuing to develop.
Just with your experience as a player and obviously as a coach, what's your ideal rotation look like in your mind? You know, in terms of defensive tackles for games and 3-4. Like, what do you think is a good number?
Typically, I don't want to see guys go more than 6 or 7 plays before I start rotating. You know, but as far as who's going to be the starter, who's going to be second team, that is so far from being determined right now. The guys that go out and play the best, those will be the guys on the field, and that'll continue that way during the season. Jimmy Johnson did the same thing when he was here. If you had a bad game on Saturday, you're probably not starting the next Saturday, because it keeps the level of competition up. We're here to compete as a team, and we're here to try to get wins as a team. So if you want to be the starter, you better show up week in and week out, because if you give me a down week, it might be a change in the rotation. That's just the way it goes.
And for rotation for a game 4 or 5, I mean, how many do you think is a good number in a game?
The playoffs start right away. The playoff run starts right away. So the rotation starts right away. You know, we don't have time to sit back and wait. Is he going to come along with it? Is he not? Like, dude, we got to go. We got to go right now. So I'm expecting them to come out of spring ball at a certain level. And then when we get done with training camp, I'm expecting them to be at a certain level. Because when it's time to go, it's live. It's time to go. So you got to be ready to perform. Game 1, that's college football. Game 1 will get you knocked out of the playoffs. Game 2 will get you knocked out of the national championship. I know that personally. You know what I'm saying? So as that goes, we got to be ready to rock and roll from day 1. From day 1, it's on.
And Akeem Mesidor, those are 2 players that have played generally inside and outside on the defensive line. Do you expect that to continue, and are there some other players that expect to go inside and outside?
Well, that I don't know right now. I know right now Mesidor and Bain are both playing defensive end, and that's pretty much what it looks like. As we get into training camp and stuff like that, we may do some stuff with that, we may not. That's just going to be depend on how JT feels about it and how I feel about it as we go down the stretch. Right now, we're just trying to get him going at defensive end.
Does it feel more like pro football now? I mean, a lot has changed since. I mean, seriously, like, these guys are getting paid.
Yeah, they are.
This is like a job now. This is real football. Do you have to treat it more like pro football?
I try to keep the college in the game, but as you know, they are getting paid. So that comes with expectations. And I think the clock is sped up on a lot of guys. So you got to come in and locked in as a player, because when people pay you, they expect things from you. And that's just the way the world goes. So just that whole process and stuff like that, I try to make sure, because I understand these are kids and they need to be developed. So I put the pressure on me to make sure I'm developing them and getting them where they need to be, so we're not looking at them saying, okay, why are we paying this guy this much? You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things that I want to make sure, I like it. I like they're getting paid. So I want to make sure that they're earning their keep.
I was going to say, as a couple more, like, a lot of guys won't get into coaching because of the current state. But you've lived the whole pro life, you've lived the whole thing, so you think you have a better understanding of what
they need guys in the coaching. You need guys that understand that level of stress, that level of, you know, pressure that's put on you when you have a paycheck in this game. So those guys need to come back to coaching, because they understand, and they understand what it is to be a college player, because they had to go through the same road. Now, when we were in college, we were making $127 a month. Now, I'm gonna tell you, we were beyond broke. We were broke. You know what I'm saying? So just knowing that and understanding what happens when you start to get paid to do what you love, you got to understand what comes with that. But they're still young, and you want to make sure that you're developing the mental aspect of it, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do in the classroom and all this kind of stuff, to make sure that they're going to be the best them they can be when they get out on the field. So they don't necessarily want to put the pressure on them about what they're making. The pressure is, are you doing what you're supposed to do or not doing what you're supposed to do?
Damian, you mentioned earlier the loss you had at the beginning of the season. Does that still bother you? Do you coach like that?
Absolutely, yes. It still bothers me, because you think about it, we were a team who lost the second game of the season, and we flew as far as you can fly in America to go play a football game. We lose early. We come back, we beat Florida State, we beat Virginia Tech, and I think we beat another ranked team in that run, and we don't get a shot to play for it. In what world is that okay? And the team that beat us lost, and we beat the team that played it. Like, where they do that at? You know, where they do that at? But BCS is what it is. He gone.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you guys.